Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex channel episode. This is a live chat, so let me just adjust this camera. There we go, that's better. So today we have two main topics of conversation. We'll also be covering Prince Harry appearing on the BBC One show, talking about the Guinea Pig Club. But there is one thing left over from yesterday's chat, which I actually completely forgot to do. I ran out of time. Yesterday I was live for nearly, it was 59 minutes, it was going on an hour, and I was reading lots and lots of viewer comments and questions and trying to answer them all, and the one question that got answered, which I was going to talk about and discuss, was of course the Piers Morgan backtracking, and I'll show you why I'm doing, in quotes, backtracking in a moment when I kind of dissect what Piers Morgan said. But also I want to talk today about Tyler Perry, and he has beefed up security and screening at his home, where Prince Harry and Meghan are being alleged to be staying at. So we'll be talking about that as well. So as always, this is a live chat, and in this format, I want to hear what you guys have got to say. So I'll be trying to read again as many viewer comments as I possibly can. I do appreciate that this time I go live here in the UK, there is a bit of a time difference, so I do realise that many of you will be watching afterwards on catch up. So any links that I share or anything like that, I will pop in the description box. Hello to everybody. I can see a few people popped in, and we have 53 watching live as of now. So, shall we start with the elephant in the room? Maybe. Can we call him an elephant? Piers Morgan? Let me go. So I've got another window open, and I'm going to go to the article. So there's been lots of talk online, there's been lots of talk in the press about Piers Morgan's comments. Now, he was being interviewed for the Sunday Times. Now, I will say at the start of this video, the Sunday Times, you either have to buy it in physical format, or you can view the articles online, but you have to subscribe and pay. And they charge something like £26 a month to subscribe to their articles. So I have not read the source article. I am not paying for a newspaper of that kind. I don't pay for tabloids. I don't buy them. If I have to read anything, I read it online. So I will say at the start of this video that I have not read the source article, but I have read quotes of what he has said in numerous different publications since. So I'm not basing this on just one source. I'm basing what I've got to say on many, many different sources, but I will say that I have not read the original source. So I think that is important to understand and know. I am not paying £26 for a newspaper, which I don't read anyway, just for one article trying to find out what Piers Morgan said. So I am basing this on numerous different things, but not the original source. Right. So many people have been claiming that Piers Morgan has backtracked, and I want to start first of all by reading to you the dictionary definition of backtracking in the terms of about what you say or your opinions, that kind of thing. The general dictionary definition is to retrace one's steps. If you are to backtrack, you are retracing your steps. You are going back on yourself. So bear that in mind when I read to you what Piers Morgan has to say. Let me just go back. So I've got many different windows open, and I'm flitting between different things. We all know what Piers Morgan has said about Harry and Meghan, Meghan in particular. We all know that Piers Morgan has this kind of long-standing vendetta against Meghan because he met her once, he had lunch and drinks or whatever it was with her once, then she met Prince Harry, and, you know, as he claims, she ghosted him. I mean, I'm not going to go into any of that. That has been discussed to death. So I'm not going to go into any of that nonsense. But that's kind of where I think Piers Morgan is referencing in some of his comments. So, Piers Morgan has said that he has probably, and I quote, taken things a bit too far with his criticism of Harry and Meghan since they quit the royal family. And I would probably say during when they were, members of the senior working royals as well. But anyway, so let's just dissect that first sentence. So, taken things a bit too far. That's not backtracking. He hasn't apologised. He hasn't said that he was wrong. He hasn't said he's sorry. He hasn't said, he hasn't corrected anything. He hasn't changed his opinion. He's just said he took things a bit too far. He didn't say that the things that he thought, that he didn't say, oh, well, I didn't actually think those things were true that I said. So let's just carry on with what he said. He said, speaking to the Sunday Times, he conceded that it's probably not wise if you're a columnist to make things too personal. So this is where I was saying about when he met Meghan, and then his interpretation was that she ghosted him. So he has admitted that he took things too personal, but he hasn't said that he has changed his view, changed his opinion, apologised. He hasn't done any of that. So I don't see any elements of backtracking, to be quite honest. Commenting on his previous comments about Duchess Meghan, he said, have I taken things a bit too far? Probably. Do I think that will govern and temper how I talk about them going forward? Absolutely. He added that he is at his best as a journalist on stuff that really matters. So here we go. So he said that basically he said he just won't be as outspoken on Harry and Meghan anymore. He admits that he's gone too far, but he hasn't backtracked. He hasn't backtracked at all. And in fact, there is also a little bit of, verbal side-eye thrown in there as well. But when he said he's at best as a journalist on stuff that really matters. So, of course, he's implying that now Harry and Meghan have left the royal family, they don't matter. They don't deserve his words. They don't deserve his time. They don't deserve his comments. So he's not backtracking at all. He said, it's the stuff that is substantial, particularly when people's lives are at stake, that seems to galvanise my personality into the best possible place. And it's times of relative peace and calm, quiet and, dare I say, boredom, that I might occasionally bring out the worst in me. So basically he's saying, before the coronavirus, he was bored, there was nothing much going on, therefore he picked on Harry and Meghan because of his own personal vendetta, his own personal reasons. That's what he's saying. And he's saying now that going forward, since they've left the royal family in terms of being senior working royals, they've stepped back, that they aren't worthy of his time, like he's some kind of god, and they are not worthy of his time or effort or dedication to even mention. That's kind of what he's saying. So there is no backtracking. There is no backtracking whatsoever. So all these YouTube channels saying, oh, Piers Morgan's backtracked. No, he hasn't. When you actually dissect what he has said, he hasn't backtracked at all. He continues, having squabbles with people who are never going to change their mind in a million years about stuff that no longer seems remotely important. So he's saying that he no longer considers Harry and Meghan important enough to even mention or speak about. He also, obviously implies that Harry and Meghan are wrong, because he says that they're never going to change their mind on anything in a million years. So, there is no backtracking. There was lots and lots and lots of major side-eye in the Sunday Times piece. So there we go. And I'm not going to read what he has said or tweeted previously, or the who's and why's and what fors, but that is what he said. He hasn't backtracked at all. All he said is, he has said they aren't important anymore. There's more important things going on in the world, and basically they don't deserve my time to even speak about, and I'm not going to speak about them anymore. I'm going to change my behaviour. It's not good being a journalist to make things too personal. I'm going to be all professional now. there is no backtracking. It's just more side eye, basically. So let me go and see what you guys are actually saying. Thank you so much to V, who has donated $2. Thank you so much. If I had my fan down with me here right now, I would flap it. So thank you so much. Yeah, lots of people obviously with their comments about Piers, but I just thought I would kind of come on and say he hasn't backtracked. That's all. So again, be very careful who and what you watch and listen to, because there are so many people on different. I spoke about this yesterday. There are two very distinct sides. There are those that love Meghan, and there are those that hate Meghan, and there's me in the middle, who just wants to try and bring you as much factual information as I possibly can, given the resources that I have to go on. And I've heard lots and lots of things about Piers backtracking, as if he suddenly said sorry and apologised, and he hasn't. So, you know, you may have listened to, watched some, you know, fake news opinion put out there as facts. And, you know, the facts are that he has not backtracked at all. When you actually read what he has said, he hasn't backtracked at all. In fact, all he's done is just thrown even more side-eye onto Harry and Meghan than there was before. So that is exactly what's gone on. Let me just go all the way down and see what people are saying. Sean says, I hope he stays true to his words, but that's wishful thinking. We'll see. We'll see how long he can remain professional and not comment on Harry and Meghan. Elise says, thank you for the truth. We can always count on you to get through the thick of it all. Like I say, there are lots of people with different agendas out there, on both opposing sides and trains of thought, who want to put their own narratives onto things, who are presenting their own opinions as facts. And just because someone says it, just because someone states it as a fact, doesn't mean it necessarily is. So what I've done is read exactly what he has said, and there you go. It is what it is. Right, I'm going to move on from him. I don't think certain people deserve large segments of our time. So I'm going to move on to Prince Harry, who made a surprise television appearance last night in the UK, sharing inspiring military veteran stories. So I didn't know that this was actually happening. It was a surprise TV appearance. The BBC has a weekly show called The One Show, and it tackles many different stories and issues that people might be interested in. So obviously, because we've had the VE Day 75 years commemoration, I think Harry had been asked in advance to shine a light on what is known as the Guinea Pig Club. So Prince Harry appeared via video link as part of a kind of compilation piece. I haven't seen the whole piece, but I have seen the part where Harry was speaking, which I will put a link in the description once I have gone off live here. So Prince Harry has continued his lifelong pledge to support the military community with a poignant television appearance alongside veterans and survivors of the Second World War. So Harry has highlighted stories from military support groups for the BBC's The One Show as part of their coverage of VE Day. Harry was also asked to take part and filmed via Zoom last Tuesday the 5th of May alongside the widow of former Guinea Pig Club member Sandy Saunders, who the Prince had previously met. So what is the Guinea Pig Club? The Guinea Pig Club was formed in 1941 by a group of aircrew and military personnel whose burn injuries were so severe they allowed themselves to be subjected to experimental cosmetic surgeries by New Zealander surgeon Sir Archibald McIndoe. Maggie Wilson was married to the late Second Lieutenant Sandy Saunders, who received experimental treatment to his face, hands and legs from the pioneering surgeon, and told Harry about the life-changing procedures. So this is a very poignant chat, and one that means so much to so many people. Um, she said that he was an amazing man, speaking of her husband's surgeries. And there's, if you watch the whole piece, it is very, very, very poignant. Um, and there we go. Just go and watch it. I will, like I say, in fact, no, I'll do it now. I will share the link to the very, very short clip that we have online of Harry. Let me just get the... There we go. And I'm sure you can find the full piece, perhaps on YouTube. There we go. Elaine says, Harry was great on the one show, looking so happy. Yes, I agree, he was. And yeah, if you're watching, please don't forget to give a really, really big thumbs up. Right, I also wanted to talk today. I'm going to try and keep this video fairly succinct. I've been talking to you for 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep it under 20. So, you've all heard the claims that Harry and Meghan have been residing at Tyler Perry's mansion in LA. I spoke about it yesterday. And since rules, I do understand, have been relaxed on what you can do in and around LA, I think people can now go on hikes. And Tyler Perry's mansion is along, I do believe, a kind of hike trail. So, bearing in mind that Tyler Perry has owned this home for many, many years, I do believe. I did read somewhere that he'd owned it for many, many years, and has never put up security along that kind of route where people can see into what appears to be a pool area. He's never done that before, and now suddenly he puts up these screens. So, is it to protect Harry and Meghan? Has he done that to help protect them from any paparazzi? Because obviously, prior to the Daily Mail disclosing where Harry and Meghan are alleged to be staying at, people wouldn't have known that they were there. So, potentially, Tyler Perry, Harry and Meghan, if indeed they are there, may be anticipating paparazzi, just general hikers, members of the public. Anybody could come really, really close to that property and take pictures, potentially, of Harry and Meghan if they are there in the pool. I'm looking at a picture now through rather large windows. It could be the Cotswolds property situation all over again, with people flying drones and all kinds of things going on. Now, I mean, obviously, a little bit of screening isn't going to protect against drones. So I don't know if there is any kind of privacy law with drones going on there. But they have put up, Tyler Perry has put up, well, I should say there are screens that have gone up at Tyler Perry's home. And like I say, whether or not that is for Harry and Meghan, who may or may not be staying there. Obviously, we have not had official confirmation of that, but it is, a common viewpoint that they are staying there. And they may have been at risk if they were, because of the Daily Mail's decision to widely publicise where they may be staying. So they have now felt the need to obviously put up some kind of screening to help protect them. So I want to know what people are thinking about that. Let me know. I'm very, very interested. V says, yes, it looks like Harry, Meghan and baby Archie are there. I mean, like I say, I can't come to you and say 100% that they are there or not. So I'm trying to kind of say, they may be there, they may be not there. But I think most people kind of think that they are there. But like I say, we have no official confirmation. But if the Daily Mail hadn't kind of released where they were staying, they probably wouldn't have had a need to put the screens up. Because like I say, Tyler Perry hasn't felt the need to put screens up in the past. In fact, I think Tyler Perry had the house built. That's what I read. I read that he'd actually had the house constructed in something like 2013. Was it 2013? Yeah, a zoom lens. Stephanie D. Kelly, good point. It could be anyone staying there that now wants privacy because that property has been highlighted. That is another good point. V says, the property is on a high hill. You can't tell by that photo, but Harry and Meghan can look down on things. Chantel says, could I provide a link for the front page of the UK newspaper? Which one? Which one do you want? If you type in British daily front pages, I think there is a website that I used yesterday to highlight a point where it shows all the different front pages, so you can see how different publications are reporting on almost the same headline or what's on their front pages. Thank you, Jay Hall. Robin says, the helicopters have been looming. The screen is to prevent long-distance lenses. Drones are not permitted around private... Okay, there we go. Drones are not permitted around private properties, especially since 9/11. Lots of no-fly... Well, that's good. At least that's good. So hopefully they won't have any drones. But yeah, those photographs were taken with lenses. But once those trails open up, you know, people can get close, I think. Or maybe that's as close as they can get, but with long lens zoom lenses, they would be able to get, you know, shots of Harry and Meghan and Archie if they are there by the pool, or potentially even through windows. Oh, Chantel says thank you. Yeah, if you just Google front pages of UK papers, it will come up if you want to see how, you know, they're reporting on essentially the same kind of topics. Right, okay, that's me done for today. Like I say, whenever anything crops up, I'm always there reading it. And watching, and sometimes, you know, I don't get to do it because I don't get to talk about a story straight away, and that is because normally I like to leave a little bit of time to digest things, to read people's comments, and actually kind of get to the bottom of things, because I think a lot of news reporters are very, very quick to regurgitate things really, really quickly without actually taking time to take stock and to think about things. A little bit like with the Piers Morgan story, you know, almost immediately there were videos out there here on YouTube, here on our very own YouTube platform, with people saying about him backtracking. And when you actually look at it and break it down, he hasn't backtracked at all. In fact, there is just even more side-eye thrown their way, even more shade cast by Piers Morgan. So just be very, very careful, be very wary of who and what you watch and listen to. Opinion presented as fact does not make it fact. So, if you've enjoyed today's video and appreciated it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment and obviously subscribe to the channel. So, from me in Shropshire, until next time, mwah to you all and goodbye.